Akira Shiroyanagi, a high school student who enjoys gaming, is bored with daily activities. One day, on his way to school, he is suddenly attacked by a mysterious man. Though he defends himself using strategies, he is mercilessly killed by the woman with lilac hair, Mion, who unexpectedly appears behind him delivering a powerful attack. Before we continue with the video, don't forget to hit that like button, share the video with your friends, and subscribe to the channel to help us keep bringing more summaries like this one. Now, let's get to the video. When he wakes up, Akira finds himself in a mysterious facility. He's informed that Mion is orchestrating a program as an experimental monitor of abilities, and he and other people will be involved in a tough battle of skills. After being introduced to the rules of the game, Akira goes to an isolated room to find out what his power is, along with the other participants of this mysterious game. Initially, Akira is completely confused about how to use this power, which makes him think a lot about this game and what Mion's objectives could be. Akira is then taken to the first challenge, to fight against Madoka Kirisaki, using his powers in a scenario that simulates a classroom. Madoka demonstrates her power capable of transforming a branch into a sword, while Akira only stays on the defensive. After running through some rooms, Akira reveals his power called Illusion. He replicates the same ability as Mion, creating a powerful cannon in his hands and firing at Madoka, hitting and immobilizing her, thus becoming the victor of this round. Mion, along with her assistant, watch the confrontation. She explains that Akira's power isn't actually that cannon. It was just an illusion created by him to deceive his enemy. Akira's real power is sophist. He can capture the opponent's imagination and turn it into reality. For his power to become favorable to him, Akira first needs to manipulate his opponent's mind to be able to make good use of his power. Yuri Amagake, an unhappy high school girl who hates the word coincidence, is one of the people gathered in a mysterious organization like Akira. One day, Yuri dies trying to help a man about to jump from the roof of the building. Her first confrontation is against Kazuto Kiryu, a somewhat perverted opponent. Yuri, confused by her opponent's unexpected behavior, is forced to fight him but vows to clear the game to return to the girl she lived with. Kazuto reveals his power at the beginning of the confrontation, saying that he has the power to identify a person's condition by smell. In this way, he could use it for a variety of functions. While mobilizing Yuri, Kazuto remembers his past, in which he was dating a young girl. This girl finds out that he works in a big company, so she decides to subordinate him. In a fit of rage, he takes her life. Since then, he has started to take pleasure in these practices. In a fit of rage, Yuri uses her power, the ability to quintuple her physical ability. By squeezing Kazuto's arm, she manages to free herself. Shortly after, she creates a smoke curtain and delivers a powerful punch that defeats Kazuto instantly. While Akira was thinking to himself about his power and how it didn't affect him physically in his room, Mion appears and says that power costs life expectancy. They exchange someone's life for energy. Every time they use power, someone on Earth loses their life. Then she says it's just a joke. The second program is a 5-on-5 team competition. Akira is placed in a group with Madoka, Yuri, Shin, and Satoru. As each one reveals their abilities, Akira disguises his own abilities as the ability to create a hand cannon so that none of his momentary allies discover what his real power is. Shin reveals that his power is to become invincible for a few seconds, while Satoru says he can turn a button into a rope. The other characters reveal their true powers, except Akira. In this team battle, a member of each team will enter a square ring and fight one-on-one. The score of these matches will decide the winning team. The first fight begins with Satoru against Rin. During the battle, Rin manages to distract Satoru, causing him not to notice her real intentions. Through an unknown power, she quickly pierces him without even moving from her place, thus obtaining the victory. Akira then analyzes the battle, saying that while they were talking, Rin threw small blades in Satoru's direction, and in an instant, these blades became large, piercing Satoru's abdomen and killing him. The second round is between Shin Kumagiri and Ringo Tatara. However, after starting the fight, Ringo gives up, handing the victory to Shin without even fighting. Ringo reveals to her team that she had no chance of winning. She copied Shin's power, but nothing happened, which means there is some condition to activate her ability. After the discussion against Rin, Ringo reveals to us that her power is to copy only 1/10 of her opponent's total power. In practice, when she activates it, Ringo can see the person's ability. The third round is between Madoka Kirisaki and Saiko Zokumyoin. Saiko starts the confrontation by taking a slingshot and shooting a projectile towards Madoka, but the projectile is easily repelled. Everyone is surprised by what the projectile has become, a large, massive sphere. Madoka then moves towards Saiko as she throws various spheres in his direction to crush him. Then Madoka reveals to us that his true power is to turn a piece of branch into a sword capable of cutting anything, allowing him to even cut the large spheres that Psycho can create. Madoka Kurosaki, who appeared in the midst of a 5 versus 5 team battle where she could lose her life, fights well with her ability to cut through anything, but it was reversed due to her negligence, causing her to lose the match. Shortly after, Akira Shiroyanagi was summoned to fight against Kuji Kitajima. Initially, Akira uses Madoka as an experiment of his power, just to make his hand turn into a cannon, thus making Kuji witness this illusion. Akira uses his cannon and tries to shoot projectiles at Kuji, but Kuji uses some sort of invisible shield that protects him. Akira realizes that his opponent's power is the ability to nullify the power of his adversaries, however, only when one of his hands is touching the ground. Thus, Akira manages to secure the victory. With the end of the fight, Yuri Yamagaki was chosen to fight in the last match against Uji Hoshino, the same boy who caused her to lose her life, which makes her extremely angry. Uji starts the battle using his ability, through which his body is able to become as hard as iron. However, with just one powerful punch, Yuri easily throws her opponent out of the ring, thus winning the fight. Mion appears and says she will punish the losing team, a punishment that could involve torture or even the death of all players who lost the match. Part of the punishment was for them to be dressed in humiliating clothes and forced to serve the winning team in the celebration. After the meal, a new game began. Each member of the group would have to follow a different path, without knowing the destination that each mysterious path could lead them to. The third program begins. Akira receives a cell phone while the game assistant informs him that he has 100 points, and his goal was to obtain 1,000 points. A door opens, and Akira finds himself in a forest where he needs to defeat his opponents to earn points. At the same time, a man named Katsuya Saito appears in front of Akira, saying he has come to recruit him. In the midst of this forest, Akira encounters Yuri, who was being pursued by other players. After a brief confrontation, Akira, Katsuya, and Yuri retreat. According to Katsuya, there are multiple factions in the third program. The red team consists of dangerous people, and he belongs to the green team. Akira, who seeks a way to win this competition, visits the position of the green team and meets the team leader, Yuto Shirasagi. Yuto explains that points are earned by completing missions assigned by the organizations. Through these points, it is possible to buy various things, serving as currency. He also explains that the leader of the red team, named Hajime Ugami, uses his great influence to defeat the weaker ones and gain control over all those participating in this game. There are 3 factions in this competition: the blue ones with individual objectives and who declare neutrality so that the other groups do not try to interfere in their affairs, the red team that hunts the others, and the green team that resists them. Yuri then decides to join the green faction, but Akira has different objectives. He uses his power and makes his arm turn into a cannon again, aiming in Yuto's direction, then shoots. The shot is blocked by Yuto's power. All of this is just a test by Akira, who upon drawing his conclusions decides to remain on the green team, giving an advantage to his true ability and preparation for the imminent battle. While they talked alone, Akira decides to trust Yuri, revealing his true power and allowing Akira to use other powers through Yuri. After Mayan announces a large-scale subjugation mission among the factions, the green group decides to go to the ruins of District D. Encountering Mayan at the site, she summons various ghouls that attack them. For each ghoul defeated, the group would earn 30 points. While fighting against the ghouls, the leaders of the red team, Hajime Ugami and Masaya Kuroiwa, arrive at the scene to observe the power of the members of the green team. Masaya takes cruel measures against the people they captured, using the ghouls to take their lives, while the members of the green faction are trying to leave the site to hide their abilities. Akira and Yuri still continue fighting against the ghouls and saving people, including Ringo, who had also been captured earlier by the red team. Mion further increases the difficulty of the battle, summoning a powerful ghoul that even causes a great problem for Akira, leading Yuto to reveal his power, the ability to transact peacefully with the adversary. He manages to withstand all the powerful punches of the ghoul and then deliver a powerful attack that creates a large hole in the ghoul's stomach, but it injures his arm and reveals his power to his enemies. The powerful ghoul still remains alive, eating the other ghouls to regenerate and return to combat again. Although injured, Yuto continues to fight against the great ghoul, so Yuri decides to help, but in the same way, they still remain at a disadvantage, forcing Akira to use his cannon against the powerful creature. Akira and Yuri start fighting together against the ghoul, leading it to a location where their enemies cannot see their true power. Using Yuri's help, Akira manages to deliver a powerful attack, but it is completely in vain. Hajime appears, and with just one powerful physical blow, manages to rip off the ghoul's head. Enraged by Hajime's actions, Yuri attacks him, but he easily defends himself from her attack and counterattacks. Hajime proposes a 3-against-1 fight, but Mion interrupts, saying that it is not him who decides that, as she had not confirmed that the mission had ended. Mion proposes an even more interesting game, a large-scale mission called King of the Hunt. A competition between the red and green teams is announced. The mission consists of capturing the opponent's terminal and connecting to it. As a reward, the winner will receive points and leave the enemy leader easier to hunt. For example, nullifying the leader's powers with the activation of handcuffs, leaving him completely defenseless and vulnerable. While each one prepares for the imminent battle, Yuto discovers parts of Akira's true ability through him. Akira only reveals that the cannon is not his true power, and that he could not reveal the true one. During a private conversation, Ringo tells Akira that she knows his true power and reveals to him her ability to know what the power of her opponents is. What they did not expect was that Yuri overheard the conversation. Ringo says that, like her, Akira needs a partner for his abilities to work, so she proposes to be allies. Akira accepts, as she is a very valuable piece and knows the powers of those belonging to the red team. One of the minions of the red team who had been captured by the green team managed to escape with the help of a spy, managed to return to his faction, then warns Masaya that during the fight against the ghoul, Akira had been crushed, but for some reason, he was fine and managed to fire with the cannon. This information confirmed Masaya's suspicion. He confirms to Hajime that Akira's power is false and that his true power involves something much beyond what they are thinking. Akira, who is preparing to accomplish the mission, contacts the leader of the blue team, Yorimoto, and asks for cooperation. Akira offers 200 points and an additional 500 points to anyone who manages to capture a terminal from the red team. Lori rejects the offer and makes a new one, the condition being that Yuri joins the blue team. This way, he would convince the blue team members to join Akira's team. Akira claims it to be a completely unbalanced proposal. If Lori really wanted Yuri to join his team, he would have to participate in the battle himself and do everything Akira desired. However, once again, they fail to reach an agreement and decide to end the meeting. Madoka reveals herself amidst the trees and tells Akira that he will join the red team and become his greatest enemy. Akira doesn't show much concern and decides to return to the green team, leaving Madoka completely irritated. When the time comes and the Hunt King begins, King Hajime Ugami unexpectedly appears at the forefront and dominates the battlefield with overwhelming violence. The other members of the red team split up to find Akira while activating all the green team members who stand in their way. Among them, Rin is the one who manages to find Akira. Rin says she's not interested in fighting Akira, mainly because she's unsure about his power. Her only goal is to survive. For this reason, she lets him pass but warns her team on the phone that she found Akira. Meanwhile, Shin and Yuki meet and begin to fight. Yuki reveals she has the power to shrink things, causing Shin's handcuffs to become smaller and tighter around his wrist. Using a wire, Yuki cuts off Shin's hand. With the arrival of Hajime Ugami, the frontline Asuka Kiryu tries to stop him but is easily defeated by him. Yuri appears and confronts Hajime to save Asuka, who is in trouble. Using her agility, Yuri manages to gain a certain advantage against her opponent, which makes Hajime even more excited to fight this powerful adversary. Meanwhile, although the spy from the green team has been captured, he is unexpectedly killed by an unknown person, causing Ringo and Yuto to discover there was another infiltrator, Momoko Sonomura. While Akira runs through the forest, Madoka appears to confront him. During the fight, Masakado Rindu appears and interrupts the fight, causing Akira and Madoka to ally to face this enemy. A meeting planned by Akira with Rin's help. Fighting together, they manage to create an incredible strategy to defeat Masakado. On the other side of the forest, Renka, belonging to the red team, easily defeats all her opponents. Mary Fukujuji even tries to use her power and twist her neck, but even with her neck twisted, Renka still manages to get up. Enraged, Renka tries to kill Mary, who has just passed out from exhaustion, but is stopped by Rin, who arrives at the fight, drawing attention and great hatred towards her. Even though they're on the same side, Renka wants to take Rin's life. Using her small planes, Renka manages to injure Rin, making her bleed, but Rin uses her blood to shoot blades that hit the helicopters and Renka's body. Rin questions if Renka's power is immortality. Then, still using her blood, she manages to trap Renka in a tree and heads towards the carrier of the power to turn toys into real things. By hitting the cart the girl was carrying with her blade-shaped arm, Rin reveals that Renka's power isn't immortality. She's just a puppet like the helicopters and tanks. Inside the cart was Tsuchida Suta, responsible for possessing the power to control the Renka doll. After revealing her plans, Rin takes both their lives, also revealing her power to create torture devices from bodily fluids. Shin and Yuki continue to fight. Using his 2-second invincibility, Shin quickly defeats Yuiki. Meanwhile, Katsuya is at a serious disadvantage against Naoharu Kamui, but with Akira's arrival, Naoharu is defeated. The traitor hiding in the green team finally begins to move in the critical situation where the victory and defeat of both teams occurred. Momoko appears and shoots at Yuto with her cannon hand, but the attack is ineffective. To save the life of the little baby in Momoko's arms, Yuto allows her to take his life in exchange for leaving the baby alive, and she does. However, Momoko doesn't fulfill the agreement, taking the little baby with her. Determined to save the baby, Ringo goes after Momoko and confronts her, being incredibly injured in the confrontation but manages to save the baby and defeat her opponent. Meanwhile, Masaya is confused by not having won yet, but discovers that the real king is Akira, who is right behind him. Akira says he has the advantage at this exact moment. Kirisaki and Kumagiri went to help Yuri defeat the red team's king. Akira is initially at a complete disadvantage because Masaya has many people under his command. Akira uses his manipulations and manages to make Masaya give him the ability to use Yuto's power. Akira defends himself from the attack and uses the power to defeat Masaya, freeing everyone from his control. Meanwhile, Yuri, Madoka, and Shin fight together to defeat Hajime Okami. However, their opponent becomes even stronger, quickly defeating Madoka and Shin, leaving only Yuri completely exhausted but standing. Still determined, they both clash fists. Still determined, Yuri continues to fight, but her power is sealed by Masaya, who uses his cell phone to spend his points in exchange for this power sealing. In this way, Hajime manages to defeat Yuri. Akira then proposes to fight Hajime, and he accepts. Using Yuri's help, Akira manages to learn and use his power, increasing his strength, agility, and other physical attributes to fight Hajime. With just one powerful blow, Akira manages to defeat Hajime, making him the winner of the battle in the King Hunt competition, with the green team as the victor. After the victory, Iori Omoto appears to claim the 200 points and says he partially discovered Akira's power, but wasn't interested in really knowing more about it, since they both have the same power. He strikes Akira with the cannon power and says his goal is to take Mion's life with his own hands, and for that, he needs Akira's help to achieve this goal. Akira wakes up at his house, considering all events just a dream. He then lives a normal life until he meets Yuri, and they both hug, thus ending the first season of Battle Game in 5 seconds. That was today's content. We hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to share the video, leave your like, and stay tuned for the next video. Take care.